Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with me, and we're going to do a little bit of playing around with this new Fiskars tool. This is called the Fiskars gift making tool. So I guess that means you can make anything that you should need to give a gift in, such as an envelope, a box, or a bow with this. So we're going to start off by making a box. Now I played around with it a little bit yesterday, and I made this box just real quick just by looking at their little instructions and fiddling around with this a little bit. That was my first attempt at a box. It come together in about maybe 5 minutes. So that was really easy. No gluing whatsoever on these boxes. Whoops, I just tore that one trying to get it apart. They interlock right here at the top. This thing makes the little interlock, so they just interlock like that. And like I said, I tore that one taking it apart. Don't take it apart like I did. But that's what that is. Alright, so we are going to make a box. Now you get this little card in with the tool. And this is an envelope guide on 2 sides. It starts out with 2 by 3.5, and it goes all the way down to 6 by 8.5 envelopes. So it shows you the size and everything for all of those. And then the bottom, the dark part right here, is the bow guide. And you just slide this little thing up and down. It shows you how big to cut your paper, where to put your ruler, positioning, and that kind of thing. So we'll go over that in a minute. You also get this guide, which is a very good guide. It shows you on this side what all the tools do. It shows you here that this is the box instructions, which is right here, printed out in black, very easy to read. This is your notch. It'll notch 3 different notches. This is the corner notch, and that's that little interlocking notch, and then this is the notch that you make envelopes with, like it's on the envelope punch board. You also have score lines, which there's a score line that goes all the way down through here, and then this actually pulls out if you want to do a 12 by 12 sheet, and it scores all the way down. Then you also have a score line right here that comes down this way, and then you have a score line that is right here, that orange one right there. And when you move these things, then that moves, and we'll show you that again in just a moment. Let's see, this is the bow height, adjust up to box height that adjusts just up to 4 inches. So it'll go all the way from 2 all the way up to 4. And see, when I move this moves and this moves. So that tells you this is the box paper size guide. So if I want to make a box that is 3 inches by 3 inches, then it shows me that I need to cut my paper at 9 1/4 square. So that's neat. And let's see, this is the box width adjust, and it also adjusts up to 4 inches from 2 all the way up to 4. And let's see, then I showed you this. This is the score stylus, and it's kind of square, so you can use one side for your bone folder, and then that little point there is for your score lines. It fits real well in the score lines. You put this little slit that's on it right, let me pull my lights back. See that little slit that's on it right there? You put that up and then just push it in there, and it locks. And then you can grab a hold of that little thing and pull it out. If I had any fingers, I could pull it out. There we go. It's in there tight enough that it's not going to fall out if you carry this somewhere, but not so tight that you can't get it out. So then it says make a box. So if you flip this over, it shows you number 1 is set box height and box width. So if I want my box to be square, like I made that one, then I set it to, let's make a 3, what size? Let's make a 2.5 by 2.5. Okay, now if I wanted to make a 2.5 by 3, I could do that, and it would show me that I needed to cut my paper at 8.5. But we're going to make a 2.5 by 2.5 right now. We may make another one later. So I set this at 2.5, and I set this little point right here at 2.5, and it shows me right here that I need to cut my paper at 7 3/4. Now let's see if I have a paper that's cut at 7 3/4. I cut my paper early, and then I didn't decide what I wanted to make my box size. Let's see. This one is cut at 8.5. So let's cut this one down to 7 3/4. By 7 3/4. Okay, there's our paper cut at 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. Okay, now you go to number 2, and it says check indicated box paper size guide and trim paper to square size. So that's what we did. We checked that, and we trimmed our paper to that size. Then it says place paper flush against raised ruler and box width bar. So this is our box width bar. So we're going to put our paper flush against this raised ruler and that little boxed width. And it says on that right there, let me show you. It says on that right there, box width. So that you know that that is your box width. So you set it in there, and then number 3, place paper flush against the raised ruler. Okay, so I put my paper flush against this, flush against that. I'm going to punch it, and then it says to score all 3 lines with Stylus. So there's one line that comes right out through here, right there. Oops. See if I made that correct. Right there we go. And then there's one right here. This should says score line 3. One right here goes down to that one, and then there is one over here that comes this way. So there is my 3 score lines, and it also tells you on here this is score line 2, score line 1, score line 3. So it gives you all of the instructions. And then it says repeat step 3 and 4 on remaining sides. So that means just turn it around, put it in there again, the same place, and do all of your scoring. So let's score that way, score down this way, and score down this way. Turn it, do it again, punch it, score, score it, and score it. Turn it again, punch it, score there, score there, and score there. And I think that has got it. Flip paper over, this is number 6, flip paper over, align and punch all sides. So flip the paper over, align it in here with this guide and this, and punch all sides. So we're going to punch there, turn it 1 turn. We're going to punch there, turn it 1 turn. And you'll notice when you're turning this that this little point right here lines up with that score line that you made. So that lets you know that you're doing it right. So then you have something that looks like this. So we've got all these score lines. Then it says punch lock on all 4 corners. This is your lock. So just put it in there like that with it flush. Punch it. See, there's our little lock right there. Turn it. Punch it. Okay, we got it on all 4 corners. Okay, we're going to set this aside for just a minute. And then it says fold and assemble. So we're going to take this off the table. And we're going to do some folding. And I'm going to use the tools that it gave us. So this is the tool that it gave us for our little stylus here. So we're going to use that. because I think you could take this, just this tool with you and some paper that's already cut to the size that you need, and could assemble boxes anywhere that you are without any glue, tape, or anything. So let's see, and now we need to, these little score lines that come down the side right here that we made, we need to fold these in. I think yesterday what I did was just did that, and then I put that little end of the bone folder in there and just folded that down. So I just slid it in there and did that. So I just folded it over just like that. The more that you crease the fold lines, the better this box will come together, and the easier it will come together. Okay. There we go. So we have all of it folded, and see, it already looks like a box. So now it just tells you to interlock these little locks on here. So there we go right there. Just slide that in there. Bring this up. And slide that one in there. Don't pull on it and tear it like I did a minute ago. And there is your box. It's done. No glue. You didn't have to glue anything. It's really tight, close together. It looks great. I love that. That is going to make my life a lot easier when I'm trying to make boxes up. I can cut the boxes and make them, as you know, a lot of my videos show, but this is going to make it a lot simpler when I need to make a lot of boxes quick. So I like that. So let's go to the next thing. Now I did go ahead and make a little bow, but I'm going to show you how to do that. So see, that little bow would look really cute on the top of that box. Just glue it on one of these little tabs, and when they open it up, the bow will stay there. So see, that was easy enough, wasn't it? Easy enough. And it looks really good. I like it. Okay, lay that aside. And bring this back over. And let's get our little guide here. And we're going to go down and make a bow first. Alright, let's go down to, let's make a small bow. Let's do the small ones. I think the small ones are cuter. So if I put the guide on that one for the smallest one that's on there, if you, let me slide this up and you'll see. Okay, that's the smallest one that's on there. And if you don't want to use the little guide, you don't have to, but it's easier when you have it positioned to look at it and know exactly what you need to do. So it tells me that I need to cut my paper. Let me get this down where you can see it. I need to cut my paper at 1 by 7 1/8. Okay, so let me see if I have my paper cut at that. Okay, 1 inch. Seven and 1/8. Yes, I do. So this is my paper. Alright, it tells me on here exactly how to do my bow. See, on this side it says make a bow. And I'm going to laminate this and put it in my little book so that I don't lose it or mess it up. It says select paper size on printed chart, bow guide. That's what we did. Place the end of the paper strip beneath the notch punch, center using dashed lines, punch knot, and repeat. Okay, these are the little dashed lines right here. And let me zoom you down so you can see this. Okay, you see these little dashed lines right here? For the small bow, it slides right up in there, and you just center it in between those two dashed lines in the middle, just like that. It's going to look like it is off center, but just make sure that it's slid all the way up and that it's in the middle of those two lines. And punch it. And there you go. There we are. I got it a little bit off, but you know, I'm just practicing. This is a new tool. You will learn exactly how to put it in there and exactly how it's going to work the best. There we go. Oh, that one's great. See, I got it straight in there that time. As long as you make sure it's pushed all the way back against this raised ruler guide and that it's right in between those little lines. If you're making a larger bow, it's going to go in between the outside lines. Okay? Alright, so we got that. Then it says to place the paper flush against raised ruler with the end beneath the ruler position 1. Okay, ruler position 1 is this right here. See, it says ruler position 1. So you're going to put it at 1.5 on here. So 1 1/2 right there. There's 1.5. That's what we're going to use. Oops, that's 2.5. Sorry, I almost did wrong, didn't I? There's 1.5 right there. And punch it. Then you're going to flip it over. You're going to punch. Then you're going to turn it like, let me zoom back out. I'm sorry. Zoom back out. Okay. So we just punched there, we flipped it over, and we punched that side. Now you're just going to turn it to the other end. You're going to put the little notch at 1.5, the end of the paper at 1.5. You're going to punch it, you're going to flip it over, put it at 1.5, and you're going to punch again. Then it tells you to put it in at the ruler position number 2, which is, there's ruler position number 2 right there. So that says at 3.5. So I need to slide this down to 3.5, which is right there. Hold it up tight against that ruler and punch it. Then I just need to flip it over, put it at 3.5, and punch it again. There is the makings of my bow. Now let me show you how I get my bow to curl. I take one of my Clarity brushes, and I just posted a note up from our vendor on these. These will be here. They're going to ship them out on the 26th, so a couple of days, 27th, 28th, we should have these, and we will get them right back out the door to you. I am so sorry that these were delayed. They were supposed to be here the 1st of May, then they delayed it to the 1st of June, and then they delayed it again. They've delayed 2 times on us, and the reason is the manufacturer was having problems making the brushes. The manufacturer is overseas. It's not in the United States. They were having problems making the brushes. So they have finally got them made. They've already got them en route to the United States. They will be in New York on the 23rd, and then they will ship them out of the warehouse in New York to all of us retailers on the 26th, which is that following Monday. And then as soon as we get them that day, we will head them right back out the door to you guys. Thank you so much for your patience on these, and we did order extra, so if you want one, I will put it's not one, it's 4 actually. It's 4 different brushes. They're very popular right now. I love mine. I use them on my inks and things to distress backgrounds, that kind of thing. But you get these 4 brushes, and I will put the link to them in the video description below. Okay, back to the bow. Now I take this handle because it's nice and round and it's very smooth, and I just run it over, put my thumb on the top of that, and just roll it like that on that bow. I just keep rolling it until it breaks down some of those fibers. Don't pull it too hard because you don't want to tear your bow. And then I do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now this is going to be the actual tips of the bow that come out this way, that point out to the end. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold it right there and fold that right there back. Okay, then these are going to come down to the center just like that and glue, and there's your bow. So let me put a little dollop of glue right there. We'll put this little baby together and he will be all finished. I love this. This is very, very easy. So I put my art glitter glue there. I'm going to hold it for just a couple of seconds and it will glue. And then you say, oh my goodness, my bow is flat. I don't want a flat bow. What I do is, here again, I use my brushes. I use the end of it. And I just open that up. I open that up and I slide that brush up in there. And I make it puffy again. And you could do that or you could just puff it up a little bit. It doesn't matter. But if you put something round in there, it kind of keeps it from creasing. So there is your little bow. See there? From the side. All made. Isn't that cute? And all you have to do then is just put you a little bit of glue on the bottom and glue it down to your project. And there you go. It is finished. So there's how easy it is to make bows. And you can make them larger than this. I'm sure you could make them smaller than this. You just have to kind of adjust your length and that kind of thing. But that is very, very easy right there. And it does show you the diagrams. So it's easy to follow. Shows you how to put it together, how to bring it up. Alright, so that is the bows. Super easy. And now let's make an envelope. This is one of the easiest ones that you make. It's actually easier than the other two. So if you flip this back over to this side, it says make an envelope. And it shows you step-by-step instructions, exactly how to score everything. So let's see what size paper I've got and we'll see what size envelope we're going to make. Since I've already cut this, I don't want to have to cut another sheet. 7.5. Let's see. Let's make a... Let's slide that up. So this says envelope guide. And it's a bunch of different sizes. A ton of them. So you can make tons and tons of envelopes. So we're going to make... I'm just going to make a small one, 4.5 by 4.5. Let's see if that's my paper size, 7.5. Yes. Okay. So you put it on the size of envelope you want, or size of card you want. So I have a 4.5 by 4.5 card. So let's pretend that this was my card and it's 4.5 by 4.5. Then I need a piece of paper cut at 7.5 by 7.5. So that's what I have right here. Then it says my ruler position needs to be at 3 3/4. So right here is my ruler. This is talking about this ruler. So 3 3/4 is right there. Alright, and then what it tells us to do, place paper flush against raised ruler with the end beneath the correct ruler position. So we know it says 3 3/4, so we've got 3 3/4 right there. Then it says punch notch, score along score line number 2. Make sure that you pay attention to that and don't score all the score lines. So punch your notch. And then this is score line number 2 right here. So you just need to score down through there. And if you're ever in doubt what score line they're talking about, it says score line number 2 right there. And then it says rotate counterclockwise, which would be this way, 90 degrees. That means just one turn. Align scored line on paper over score line 1. So if we align this little point right here, I'm going to align that little point right there on our score line right there that we made. Let's see if I can, there we go. See, you can see it a little bit. I know it's hard for you to see. I tried to get a paper that was easier. There we go. So we're going to line that little point up with that score line right there. And Okay, repeat counterclockwise, line score line on the paper, score line 1. And then we are going to punch and score again. Now when it says align it with the paper, score line 1, that is that right there. Because if you look under there, there's our score line 1 right there. So it's lined up right with that score line. Then you turn it 1 turn, align it up again, punch it, and score it. Turn it, punch it, score. So we've got that punched and scored. And then it says round all the corners with the punch. This is your corner rounder right here. You just slide it in there, punch it. Make sure that you have it flush. So there it is, all rounded. Okay, and lay that aside for a moment. And now you can fold up your envelope. Whoops, everything's falling on me. So we'll fold that one up. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of glue right here. Fold that up and press it down. And there's your envelope for your card. Quick and easy, was it not? Absolutely. Okay, that is just a few things that we have made with this. I'm sure when we play with it a little bit more, we'll realize that there are tons of things that we could make with this, and we will be playing some more to see what all there is to be made. But right now we wanted to show you just that. What I think about the tool, my overall judgment of it, since I have played with most of every one of the tools that's out there, I love it. This will be one that I will be keeping. I won't be donating this one or selling it as a demo. I will be keeping this one. We do have some of these in stock, so if you want one, make sure that you get one now. We have more ordered, but we have a few in stock. I will leave that link below. So far, I've not found anything that I dislike about the tool. If I do, I will make sure that I let you know. It does have the anti-skid little feet on the bottom of it. They won't slide back and forth on your work surface, so I like that. I love the guide where I can score all the way out on a 12 by 12 paper. Love that. So overall, I give it a thumbs up. So guys, that is it. We will talk to you tomorrow. I know we promised to do the video also and the review on the other tool, the We Are Memory Keepers, but since this one was kind of long, we're going to wait and do that one tomorrow. So we will do the review on the We Are Memory Keepers punch board tomorrow, so watch for that one if you want to. We will talk to you guys later. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And if you are not getting notifications when we put up a video, make sure you go over to that little bell, click on the bell, and when it kind of lights up, then you're going to get notifications every time that we put a video up. Please leave comments below on if you have this tool and how you like it. And if you want to see something made with it, just let us know, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.